and welcome back to the Afrofood Diary. My name is Geraldine and I make recipe videos from Norway. You're welcome to my channel. If it's your first time, I appreciate you. Don't forget to hit the like button. You find it somewhere down here, and activate your notification bell. That way, whenever I post a video, you will be the first to know. Thank you so much, and don't forget to hit the like button as well as you watch. In today's video, I will be sharing with you a Nigerian mixture stew that will blow your mind. The idea behind this recipe is that in certain seasons, some ingredients become scarce. For instance, at certain times of the year, tomato becomes scarce, and at other times, alcohol, what we call palm fruits, become scarce as well. So this recipe will tell you how you can achieve a big pot of stew when you have a little bit of palm fruits available. Stay tuned. So friends, to start with, we have this amount of fresh palm fruits. In that pot, I'll be boiling it. And we have about this amount of fresh tomatoes. I've blended the tomatoes up, and I'll be steam drying it in this pot. Okay, so it's just to cover it and let it steam until the water disappears. Then over to our mackerel fish, I've added a little bit of seasoning cube, a little bit of salt. I'll be adding some dry rosemary. Then I'll cover it and shake the container just to get the spices into the fish. That's my little method. I'll let this sit for at least 15 minutes before I fry it. Meanwhile, our alcohol is ready, and in this pot, I'm going to be extracting the juice. You can watch my complete ofako recipe, but I'll be leaving the link at the end of this video if you want to see the whole process. So now it is done extracting, and these are all our ingredients ready, starting from the palm fruit extract to our steam dried tomatoes. In there, I've got some oxtail stock, and here I've got the oxtail grilled, and I have there the fried mackerel. Over there I have that amount of onions, just three medium-sized onions and some habanero pepper. I have in there some shrimp spice, that will be our crayfish alternative. I have some salt. I have this ogiri. I have some beef seasoning. Okay, instead of the regular cubes, I'm using the beef stock. And there I have some ugu, which is optional, but this scent leaf in that ramekin cup is very vital for this recipe. So now that everything is set, let's start cooking by setting the alcohol extract, the palm fruit extract on fire. Leave the cover open, please, so that it doesn't bubble over. We have a little bit of alcohol already, and you don't want to waste it. So let it boil. As it's boiling, you can see that you see the top is foaming. Yeah, that is the reason why you shouldn't cover it fully. Just let it boil for at least within 10 minutes. You will see the oil beginning to settle on top, depending on the quantity of palm fruits you are using. Okay, so once the oil settles on top like that, it is ready. We set it aside and go over here and start attending to the cooking process. So in here, I'm going to take the oil that settled from the stock. I boiled that from the oxtail. Okay, I'm using that oil because the palm fruit didn't bring out a lot of oil already. Okay, and besides, the oil I'm using is so small. So I'll start by sauteing the onions. I like to sprinkle in a little bit of salt to the onions so that the flavor will just be intensified. Next, I'm going to be scooping in our steam dried tomatoes. So once that is in, I'll stir everything, and you can see that in that pot you can see little or no oil. That means the oil I use in stir frying the onions didn't even come out at all. Okay, so I'm aiming at something very I'm aiming at not having too much oil in this food. Okay, Yeah, so that's what you have, and I'll be stir frying that tomato for about 4 to 6 minutes. I'll test on the way to see that the sour taste is gone. And once that is done, I'm going to stir together the palm fruit juice. Yeah, and I'm going to sieve again. You will see the reason in a bit. You see, even though I had sieved it before, it's also good to still sieve again and leave that bottom part of the pot so you don't get shafts into your stew. Okay, so once that is done, I'm going to stir my mixture stew together. Oh my. So this is definitely a way to get a big pot of stew when you have little or no palm fruits. So next I'll add the stock, then I'll add the seasoning stock, then I'll add some shrimp spice or your crayfish if that's what you have. I'll add the grated ogiri locust bean. I'll allow it to come to a boil like it's doing here, then I'll stir everything together. You can see the consistency. You can add more water if you want it lighter, but this is just perfect. Be sure to taste along the way to ensure that the taste is up to what you want. Okay, so at this point I will toss in some of the habanero pepper. It's already blended, that's why it's looking like that. So I'll allow it boil again. And sorry, I forgot to mention the curry powder earlier, so I added some curry powder just for some taste. You know, it will do some good to the tomatoes in this sauce. So next I'll just stir everything together, and you can see that at this point the oil was beginning to come up on top again. Okay, so our stew is almost ready, and this is the perfect time to add the grilled oxtail, and then the grilled fish. So as for this fish, I allowed it to sit to marinate for at least 20 minutes or thereabout before I fried it to be really crunchy. Okay, I'm tossing it in here now to soak up the juice, like the taste from this stew as well. Oh my. So remember to just taste as you cook. At this point, I added the rest of the habanero pepper. I'm always careful with pepper because this house is not so pepper friendly. So last I added the rest of the onions I left behind while sauteing the other ones. Okay, but that is optional. You can decide to saute all your onions at once. And of course, now we go in the scent leaves. What scent leaves does to ofako or this particular mixture stew is something else. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to be adding the ugu leaves, fluted pumpkin leaves. Yeah, that is optional. I just wanted to do some extra to this, but you can skip it. If you have just scent leaf, you can use that. And if you can't find scent leaves, you can do without, but the taste will be slightly different. Okay, so I'll just go ahead now and mix that in, and you can see the oil settling on top. I love the way it turned out. Not a lot of oil. The alcohol is fresh, but it didn't produce too much oil still. And even if it did, I would have scooped off some. So you can do same if you don't want a lot of oil in your stew. And it's ready. So guys, that is it for today's recipe. It made a whole lot of sense with rice and some banana. You can definitely eat it with some boiled or fried yam, potatoes. Yeah, just go ahead and give this a try and let me know what you think. I always appreciate your feedback. With that, I say thank you so much for today, and watch till the end. I have a surprise for you. See you next time. Bye bye.